It's fun though. I've always liked Izzet. Counters are great. Brineborn Cutthroat's broken. Crackling Drake is just like, it's a really good card, but in this deck it's like below average value. He's gonna kill himself just for the fun of it, which I appreciate. Yeah, just to copy his opt 4 times. Why not, right? Our opponent's actually down to 20 some cards in his deck because of this. And this is not a cheap deck either, you guys. He's running rares and mythics like crazy, and we just wiped the field with 6 rares, 1 mythic, and we didn't even play a lot of them. Hey, thanks for checking out Hello Good Game. Today we're continuing along with our Magic the Gathering Arena Guide for Beginners budget deck series, where we're looking at Izzet. So that's the combination of blue and red. We're kind of doing a counter build here, if you will, with some nice finishers. We have Niv-Mizzet being our best. Gadwick is great for that draw engine. And then God-Eternal Kefnet, Crackling Drakes. So those big flyers are going to hit the field. We have a lot of draw, we have a lot of counter. When we're breaking it down card by card though, we have 4 ops. Scry 1, draw a card. 4 Brineborn Cutthroats. This has flash. It's a 2/1 for 2, so it's alright value there. And then whenever you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, put a 1/1 counter on Brineborn Cutthroat. So whenever we're countering a spell once he's on the field, obviously that's going to be during our opponent's turn. So we're going to be able to buff him up, and he should become quite the force to be reckoned with. We have 2 Disdainful Strokes, so counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. So 4 for 2 is really good value. 2 Negates, counter target non-creature spell. 2 Quenches, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. And then 3 Lava Coils. Lava Coil deals 4 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. We have 2 Mystical Disputes. The spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a blue spell. And then counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. We have 4 Sinister Sabotage. This is a hard counter. Counter target spell, Surveil 1. We have 4 Flame Sweeps. Flame Sweep deals 2 damage to each creature except for creatures you control with flying. And then we have an Ionize. Counter target spell. Ionize deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Gadwick the Wizened. When he enters the battlefield, draw X cards. So he casts 3. So anything over 3 is going to draw you a card. And then whenever you cast a blue spell, tap target non-land permanent and opponent controls, so that's really helpful too later on. God-Eternal Kefnet. He's a 4/5 flyer for 4. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn. As you draw it, whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. That copy costs 2 less to cast, and then when Kefnet dies or is put into exile, you may exile him and put him 3rd from the top of your library. 4 Crackling Drakes. Flying, whenever he enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card, and then his power is equal to the number of instants or sorceries in your graveyard. Drawn from Dreams, look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Ral, Storm, Conduit. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, he deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Plus 2, Scry 1, minus 2, you may cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn. Copy that spell, you may choose new targets for the copy. Niv-Mizzet is a 5/5 flyer for 6. This spell can't be countered, which is great. And then whenever you draw a card, it's going to deal 1 damage to any target. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. So that's groovy. We also have Expansion and Explosion. Copy target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then Explosion. Explosion deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards, which is great. And then we've got the land split down the middle. We could, I guess, go ahead and look at the land here and edit it a little bit, because we should have 4 of those in there for this deck, because Niv-Mizzet is so mana dependent, right? And then we'll balance our land again. So that's the deck. There's not really much to it. Just try to get those counters out. You can leave some of the creatures, obviously, Anything that you can Lava Coil, you can kind of leave there for a bit. Anything under a Lava Coil, you're going to want to let Flame Sweep get that. And yeah, so just counter cards, draw cards, get your finishers out, and hit them with the flyers, right? Let's see what we can do with the deck here. So I know I've been kind of butchering these deck intros. I'm thinking of ways to make them better. I'm wondering if this involves me probably pre-producing it a little bit and then we're editing it and taking cuts and making everything just look and sound really nice. So it's a user-friendly experience. This is one option. I guess we're going to need to split test it and see how much that helps my retention time. Right, and then we can do a comparison before and after. So I do like the fact that we go first and we have our lands, right? Mystical Dispute is only going to cost 1 if it targets a blue spell, so we could get pretty lucky here as far as matchup goes if we're up against another blue deck. All right. We do have a Brineborn Cutthroat if he doesn't cast. We'll play that. Now he could be on the receiving end and have his own Mystical Dispute, right? Obviously, I would counter it if I could, if I were him. So he's just going to go ahead and shock it instead. That's fine for us. Let's continue just to lay down. We have another Brineborn Cutthroat. We're still going to counter it. Paying full cost for our Mystical Dispute. Gaining a little bit of life here and just chilling out. We really want to get our Cutthroat on the field. Okay, so this works to our advantage. We can play our Cutthroat. And now we're playing our Mystical Dispute on top of it, which is going to trigger it. And that counters his Goblin Pyromancer and then powers up our Cutthroat. We're going to go full main phase here with a Crackling Drake to draw a card. Definitely worth countering if you can. Three damage, that's a nice start. Let's see if we can continue here. Okay. Lava Coil on our Drake, that's fine. In all honesty, I would have maybe left that alone. We're gonna attack and chill, I think, here. We're only drawing one card this way. Is that worth it? I think it is. Let's try it. Could be worse. Oft is great. It's a card, but it's not a card almost. It's so like when you're building a strategy in your deck, unless that strategy involves instants or sorceries, which this actually does as well. It's just a nice way to get to your combo a little bit quicker. taking our attack first. So he's either in full control or just he has something in his hand that he's not playing, like a radical idea. Okay, we'll let it slide. It's a nice move. We have another Pyromancer drop, which isn't bad, but maybe it's not great. That is 3 damage to any target whenever he draws his second card each turn. Which is really quite nice. So we're going to let him do it to our Gadwick. That's fine. That's kind of how she goes. No attackers. And then we're going to play our Brineborn Cutthroat. And then we're going to go ahead and opt into another opt. That's perfect. Just kind of powering up our Brineborn Cutthroat. We're going to keep that land. That's part of our required card base for our Niv-Mizzet, which we do have access to soon. We're going to attack here. He takes it, which is great. We're going to end turn, and then when he targets our Brineborn Cutthroat with his Pyromancer, we're going to buff it further. He'll be creating 1/1 fairies as well that we're going to need to get through here somehow. Really? He's letting us go to our turn. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say it's game. All attack. We have Niv-Mizzet on board. Which, surprisingly, isn't our mythic. It is just a rare. So, for those of you who don't know, within our budget deck series, we're running 6 rares, 1 mythic. Just doing it in style. Why not, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's a pretty cool deck. It works pretty well. Counters can really mess with your opponent, and the Brineborn Cutthroat is great in any blue counter-based deck, right? It's just such a tank. It's not great, but I mean, maybe he plays aggro, we get to our flame sweep, and then we've got all the counters we ever want, right? I think that's probably best. Not really sure what our opponent's doing. Here we go. Keeping our hand, even though we shouldn't. If he's playing black, so we're not gonna hold up Mystical Dispute. We're gonna go in with our Swiftwater Cliffs first. Flame Sweep does become semi-relevant here, and we're gonna need to activate that sooner rather than later, right? So we can't allow him to put the counter on his knight, which he won't because he just played a tapped land. So this is actually ideal. We're going to pass our turn. We're not playing our Cutthroat. We're just going to wait and sweep. Oh, no, he did get that because they powered each other up. I should have sacrificed our Cutthroat. That's on me. I'm just trying to stack this knight, which we have nothing to deal with it. Whoops. We're sitting on Niv-Mizzet, which is great. Yeah, we're just gonna chill out, I guess. Play counters, then play Niv-Mizzet, win the game. Easy as that. Right? All right. Playing our Swiftwater Cliffs next time. I have no problem with the land whatsoever. Wow. This guy. So he's just stacking these guild gates. Let's push Niv out. He can't do anything about it. He could destroy it somehow next turn on his, because we're not sitting on enough land to hold up a counter once we've played him. But I'm not sure. We're gonna wait to find out. He's played 1,000-Year Storm as well, which is like epic. We definitely should have been countering that. Okay. We're just gonna hold up counters at this point. Let's Ionize it. Deal a little damage, right? He still has 4 mana, which is like quite a bit. We'll let him resolve that though. We'll deal some damage. He's gonna copy that, which is great. So we'll deal another damage, I believe. Oh no, it doesn't count as an extra cast. We will counter this though. Right? Why not? We'd be silly not to. Just dealing that damage with Niv. I can't counter the copy though, unfortunately, so he still gets 1. We're just going to end turn. Toss our Flame Sweep and our Lava Coil, and we're just going to focus on counters at this point. There's no need for any creature removal, I don't think. Escape to the Wilds is pretty good. Really, anything he plays does not help him. We're going to allow him to do this, I think. Right, just draw the card. And then he's searching for 2 lands, which is fine. That's nothing that we really need to worry about. He's really got his back up against the wall here, so that's not going to work for him. Again, just killing him with these Niv draws here. We can Mystical Dispute that to deal more damage, and then we can also send in another Mystical Dispute, I believe here. Could we not? I guess we countered the wrong thing. Regardless, I don't think it matters. He's out of mana, and we're attacking next turn. So, there you have it, kids. Probably one of the most powerful decks, meta-wise. I say this with all my decks, though. It's fun, though. I've always liked Izzet. Counters are great. Brineborn Cutthroat's broken. Crackling Drake is just like... It's a really good card, but in this deck, it's like below average value. He's going to kill himself just for the fun of it, which I appreciate. Yeah, just to copy his opt 4 times. Why not, right? Our opponent's actually down to 20 some cards in his deck because of this. And this is not a cheap deck either, you guys. He's running rares and mythics like crazy. And we just wiped the field with 6 rares, 1 mythic. And we didn't even play a lot of them. So a little bit shorter video today. We've got some stuff to take care of. Stay tuned. We're going to start reworking the introduction and the deck tech breakdown. Make it more engaging and try to really increase that viewer retention. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, check out the new end screen that we've got. Watch to the end and see that. Let me know your reviews on that. I think it's banging, but maybe it could use some work. Obviously, your guys' opinions matter, and I'd really like any feedback there. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you thought I was a quack, make sure to give me a thumbs down. And then if you're struggling on wildcards, you feel like you might need some more gems, if you subscribe to the channel, you're going to be entered in to win up to 500,000 gems. And so if you're interested in that, you want to learn more, instead of me explaining it every time, I've made some videos for you to check out. So subscribe to the channel, then go to the channel, go to the very bottom, there's a playlist that says gem giveaway. Watch some videos there, and you'll learn all about that. So, until next time, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow.